Hello and welcome to today's video. Today we are looking at a green polish because I feel like it. This is not a Black Friday purchase. I did order this in January, but I decided to wear this one in February because this is another victim of technical difficulties, so I just decided to hang on to the footage until I could use it. So this is my first attempt to make a video on the new computer. I don't quite have my audio setting where I'd like it because right now I'm recording audio on OBS, porting it into Audacity, cutting it up, and then putting it into OpenShot. I would prefer to cut out at least one middleman in that. We'll see what we can do for the next video. Having said all that, this is a grass green jelly with pink to orange to gold to green, shimmer, and some linear holo. This doesn't have as dense a flare as a pure linear holo, but it does still have a good amount of the finely milled pigment in there. And somehow I forgot to introduce the polish. This is Twine Your Life Around People You Love by Bee's Knees Lacquer. In that first coat, you can see it is a jelly, but there is a good amount of saturation to the green pigment. While I'm recording, the shimmer is looking pink into orange and only pink into orange. When I start the wiggle, you will see tiny flashes of the linear holo, but it isn't really going to show up here, at least in the first coat. You can see it more clearly when I tilt my thumb upwards and the shimmer is hidden. This is another Baldur's Gate polish. I just couldn't give up the Jahira polish. I kind of love an old coot, and Jahira has a tendency to be direct and irritable. I attribute this to my cat Pepper, who, from the time he was a kitten, he was already a grumpy old man. Besides Jahira reminding me of my cat, this is also a green. I have one other green linear holo, but it looks absolutely nothing like this one. The second coat is probably where I'm going to stop in the future. I like that little bit of nail line peeking through because I think we've already hit full saturation for the base color. I think the warm shimmer is pulling the base color to look a bit murky in this light, but it really is not. I think it looks closer to a jewel-toned grass green in reality. I'm one of those people that likes something extra in their linear holo. I want a shimmer or maybe some flakes. The polish that made me realize this about myself was Trash Can Carla by Lollipop Posse Lacquer, which is now Garden Path. I don't tend to see linear holos with these types of elements in them all that much, so I wonder if it's either an older style of polish or they just don't tend to sell very well, and so brands have stopped offering them. As you have probably guessed, I am doing a third coat. It is not opaque in 3, but you'll see in the sun the shimmer and linear work together to make it seem close. Okay guys, I am recording on day 2, and I think I cut out the middleman of OBS. So if this sounds significantly different and terrible, oops. Again, another oops. There's a lot of oopsing with me. Now, I did want to say this was another polish I bought with no specific notion in mind of how I intended to use it. I just liked the way it looked. I didn't have anything planned for it. I was not particularly worried about duping myself with this polish because I own, I think, only 3 linear polishes. Even if I'm wrong about that, I'm certain it's under 10. This is just one of those categories of polish where I have a lot of room I can grow. Now that we're out in the sun, we're going to start out with the pink and orange shimmer. But as I move toward the door on the left, it flips over to gold, green, and maybe just a touch of blue. I don't feel confident about the blue, but the green is extremely vibrant. The linear holo is now obvious, so you can get an idea of how much is in there. If you were interested in only the holo, you might be disappointed, but I still see the rainbow flare clearly, so I'm happy with this density. Sometimes when there is a lot of linear pigment, it can pull a polish to look more silver-toned, more metallic. but I didn't get that feeling from this one. I suppose it depends on whether you like that effect in any given polish or not. I love the bright green, fresh sprout color of this, and I wouldn't want it to look more silver. In the sun and shade, you are once again seeing the warm shimmer shifting through pink, orange, gold, and green. Mostly gold and green here, and the linear hollow is still visible. When I move over to the left and the more shaded area, the linear hollow is suppressed, and we get more of a stippled effect from the shimmer. It is moving through pink, orange, and gold. Again, I feel like I'm seeing a green shift with just a touch of blue as I lift my fingers in the shade. Talking about linear hollows again, this is why I said that I don't share an aesthetic with Holo Taco. In the first few years that they existed, a lot of their releases were creams, toppers, and linears, and these are three categories of things I do not buy. I think the first thing they released I found interesting was the light mode collection, but I already had polishes those colors, so I wasn't particularly interested. Then there was a bit of a hiatus. The next thing I thought was interesting was the coffee set. Those are still on my wish list. In the darkest shot, I start out facing the window and I'm getting some green and gold in the shimmer. The linear hollow is still sparkling for us because I have some natural light filtering in. When I lift my fingers, I get some orange. I don't feel like I'm seeing any of that blue peeking out. Then as I move around to the left, the pink and orange of the shimmer becomes dominant and the hollow tones down, but can still be seen when I lift up my fingers. I do think the shimmer looks larger and more distinct, more speckled in this darker view. And that is all for today. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe so that I can begin the extensive survey process to find the precious arboreal deposits known as acorns in the yard. Please enjoy a clip of my other little red squirrel looking for sunflower seeds in the snow.